Hey everybody, Will Ward with Ward Nutrition and Wellness right here. I want to talk to you all today a little bit about goals. So, when you think about goals, we think about, well, I want to lose X pounds by Y date, or I want to be married by the time I'm 30, or I want to have kids by the time I'm 35, etc., etc. I want to be a CEO of such and such company by 40. We all have these goals that we set. But what happens when we get so caught up in our goals that we become attached to them and we become dependent on them? So being dependent on your goals is kind of like that spouse that is dependent on their wife or their husband. They can't do anything without them. If that person were to do something that neglects them or that harms them, then they're going to internalize it and it's going to be detrimental to that person's health dramatically. They can't make any decisions without them. They can't do anything. Or it's similar to someone being, dependent upon a substance. If you're dependent upon a substance or um, alcohol or whatever it is, then you are really trapped by that. You have such an infatuation and attachment to it that you can't, if you don't get what you desire or what you need from that substance or that person, then you have nothing. And you are in chaos without it. So when we talk about being attached or dependent upon our goals, that's when we internalize us not meeting our goals. So, for example, if it's my New Year's resolution to lose 30 pounds and I don't do it, I get upset with myself and my self worth drops. I could possibly become depressed. I could offset everything that I've achieved when I tried to lose weight, even if I didn't lose my 30-pound goal. I could potentially hurt people around me. And I mean, you could play out that scenario for anything. If you felt like you were supposed to be married by the time you were 25 and have kids by the time you're 30, and you internalize that, you would see yourself as worthless, that nobody wanted to marry you and that you weren't able to have kids by the date that you were supposed to have them by, or the time that you felt like you were supposed to have them by. And that kind of goes hand in hand with expectations, which set ourselves up for failure sometimes. If we have these expectations like our first job is going to be my passion and it's going to be everything I ever wanted to be, and I'm going to make all the money I wanted to make, and we internalize that belief, then when it doesn't pan out, we don't know how to react. So people in the fitness industry, you oftentimes set goals. And when we set these goals and we don't meet them, rather than internalize it and feel like, well, I'm a failure because I didn't meet this goal and I guess I might as well go back to what I was doing, you have to take account for the progress that you made and the strides that you are continuously making, because persistence is the act of continuously pursuing a goal or continuously pursuing something. When you're persistent at your job, you don't let someone shut a door on you. You do all you can until you break that door down. Or if you're persistent with your family or your spouse, then you don't allow your spouse to get away with something that you don't think they should get away with. You are persistently making sure that they are held accountable for what they have done. So you want to be persistent with your goals, but you don't want to be attached or dependent upon them. Because when you're attached or dependent upon your goals, then you start to internalize that goal, and it can cause you to feel shame or feel guilty about not meeting said goal. And once again, we don't want any of that. We want you to set goals that are going to allow you to prosper, but that you're not going to hold against yourself. So we all have had that person that had a grudge or was petty and they held something against us, and that doesn't feel good. So why would you hold a grudge against yourself for not meeting a goal? If you decided you wanted to lose 30 pounds in 5 months, and it's a tough goal to meet as is, but if you wanted to do that and you didn't meet it, and you told your friend, hey, this is the goal I'm going to do. And then when you didn't meet it, your friend said, what's wrong with you? You didn't meet your goal. You're a horrible person. You suck at life. You would never talk to that person again. Yet some of us talk to ourselves that way every day. So not becoming attached and dependent upon your goals kind of goes hand in hand with the all hell principle, which is something that I think I remember reading about it in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or Dan Ariely's book, The Irrational Truth. I can't remember I can't remember the name of this book right now, but I've read a couple books, and I remember reading about this principle where essentially, yeah, it's Dan Ariely's book, by the way. He's a professor at Duke, a professor of behavioral economics, and he was talking about this principle, which is basically when a person, they set a goal or something, and then, or let's say you're on a diet, and one day you just decide that you can't take your diet anymore, so you start to eat everything around you. And that person has that one slip up where they decide, where they fell off the wagon, and they decide, well, oh hell, I'm off my diet now, so I'm just going to ruin the rest of my diet, and I'm not going to jump back on the train right now. I'm not going to keep progressing towards where I was going. I'm going to actually stop and regress in my progress by saying, well, I broke my diet now, so I might as well just do whatever I want. So this is kind of a principle that we as humans have developed because we kind of see things black or white. We have these dichotomies where you're either Democrat or Republican. You're either good or bad. You're either male or female. We have these dichotomies in our life that we see to be true every day. So when we have the same issue that we experience in our daily life, setting goals or for our diet, then we kind of have the same reaction. Whereas I didn't follow my diet, so now I'm not on my diet, so I'm not going to do my diet anymore. And so they're saying, well, I had a moment where I had a lapse of judgment, or I wasn't able to control my will there, and that's okay. I'll just go back to doing what I was before that. And that's what you should do. You should never progress towards a goal and then say, well, I fell short here, so I'm not going to keep progressing towards that goal. Like, if you're a Christian, imagine if you were progressing towards salvation with Christ, and then you were just like, well, I sinned, so I might as well keep sinning. F it. You wouldn't do that. Or if you were working a job and for some reason you weren't able to achieve a goal for the job, you wouldn't say, well, I guess I shouldn't work here anymore because I failed. I failed that goal. No, you would keep progressing towards that goal after that momentary failure. So 2 things to remember. One, we want to make sure that, what was the first thing I talked about? I'm having trouble remembering it now because I've just gone all over the place. But one, let's start with the second thing I thought about. You want to make sure that if you do happen to fall off the wagon, that you keep on going. You never give up, and regardless of what wall or barrier comes in your way, you try to find a way around it. You don't just let barriers or failures, momentary failures, things that aren't life-threatening. You don't let those stop you from achieving whatever goal you want. And in reference to my first point, I'm still having trouble remembering what it was. So I guess I can't remember, so I guess it wasn't that important. But anyways, I'm about to head to the gym. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all later. If you like this video, subscribe to it. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram, Ward Nutrition, WRDNUTR. And you can also comment below any topics that you might want to hear me talk about. And check me out on Facebook as well, Ward Nutrition Wellness LLC. Thank you.